look like myself like a human being with spiritual overtones. And I've never believed in trying to impress my belief on others. But I am a Christian, and I do believe in the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Taylor was my eldest child, my one and only son. And I believe, through faith, that he is still with me. I know what Taylor taught me the most about, and that was unconditional love. The same love that Christ said he has for us. Unconditionally, I love Taylor. I loved him when he was sober, because when he was sober, he was the best of all of us. The most affectionate, most outgoing, the most happy. And when he was impaired, he was not. I wanted to prove something to myself back in the day. And so, at 32 years of age, as a physician up there in Youngstown out of Don King's camp, I said, I know I can do this, and I'm going to prove it. So I entered as an open division. Some of these boys 10 years younger and turned pro. And I won the open division Golden Gloves. I think I'm the only doctor to probably ever do that, and the reason is because the rest of them are too smart to get their brains hit, and they go swimming or ride a bike like I should have, but I was born to fight. So after that, I was over. I promised my residency trainer, promised my wife there'd be no further foolishness. But I opened a gym to train troubled young men, and we were called the Mighty Warrior Fighting Gym, and Taylor was undefeated, and we had several boys. One went to the Junior Olympics. In 2 years, everybody in Springfield, St. Louis, and Kansas City all knew about the Mighty Warriors. So I always tried to hang on to that Mighty Warrior thing. I can tell you this, a father could not have loved his son more. I love my son. And I know it's true. My wife told me I'd be a great father. And if I'm great at anything, it's that. I didn't mind being an enabler. I didn't care if I was called an enabler, I thought I'm doing a good job. Because for me, I was programmed to be guilty over everything, so I had to give it everything I had to know that if he didn't make it, that I wouldn't feel guilty over that gum thing. Because I had done everything that I knew: sober living, detox, prison, lawyers, the law. 15-year battle, $250,000. I would ask myself, doesn't my son love me? Because my dad said something to me when I was a child. He said, son, you love too deep. Now, what's that supposed to mean? He said, you love too much, and I'm worried about you. I go, why? He goes, because you're never going to get it back. And I said, why would you say that to me? Well, I think it's because he knew good and well that my mother didn't love him, and she didn't because she told me so. So I always ask her, I go, why'd you name me Marvin then? His name's Marvin Earl, so mine's Marvin Lynn. What'd you do that for? She said, well, you should have thought more about your middle name, Lynn. I go, what's that? That's after Jimmy Lynn, the man I really love. Oh. Oh, I love you, Mother. Yeah. Oh, I love my son. And so we get to these stages of grief. Denial. Well, yeah, you're hoping that you wake up in the morning, this won't be happening. This can't be happening. I was like God after Mom and his mother and my soulmate. Really? Of course you're going to be angry. Christ got angry. I mean, why wouldn't you be angry? Of course you have every right to be angry, and it's okay for you to be angry. Depression. Well, if you weren't depressed before, you certainly will be now. That's for sure. Bargaining. Well, yes. Take me. Let my wife live. They need their mother. They need their mother more than me. Take me. Let my son live. He's young. He needs to check. Come on now. Let me go. Let me die. It's all futile. So I was trying to think, well, why are people coming up and saying things to me like, I want you to know this is never going to change. You're never going to get any better. And I was just like, if I can't get any better than this, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to die. I can't go on. I mean, there's no way. I'll never do to my daughters what my mother did to me, but I can't. I'll have a heart attack. I can't live like this. The pain is too intense. My mother's death. My soulmate's death. My son's death. That's how it goes. Don't worry, as a fighter, I can take that. Why don't we heal? Why can't we be better? Because I'm already better. He's 8 months gone and I'm better. I said, I got to get better. So I started fighting. I said, I got to get better. So I said, chuck this acceptance. Chuck it. I'm going to change it to acknowledgement. I can acknowledge that he's dead, but I can't accept it. I'll never be able to accept that my son died of a drug overdose. I can't do it. He was loved too much. I just can't accept it. So if I have to accept this to heal, well, then I can't do it. So I said, I won't have it be acceptance anymore. I have it be acknowledgement. I've been talking to other people, other doctors, just saying that makes perfect sense. No wonder people can't get no better, get caught up in this rat wheel turning of a hamster wheel. They can't shut it off, but just constantly in the grief, can never get out and spin out. Why? Because they can never accept it. They cannot. Jesus had problems with this in the garden. He wept. He said, please take this cup from me. Please let there be another way. I don't want to get up on that cross. Come on now, there must be another way. Finally, all he had to say was, thy will be done. So he's up on the cross, and I often wonder, well, did he finally accept it, or did he really just acknowledge it was his Father's will? All I know is if he had trouble with it, why shouldn't I or you? He asked why he was being forsaken. I asked myself the same thing. Taylor was supposed to be doing a Zoom call. I got home and he said, I'm on my Zoom. I got home, he wasn't there. He was not there. He was somewhere else with his Zoom, with his computer. I called, he was over to this gal's, Natasha. She was no good. And so I called, I said, get home now. Well, after that, he never picked up the phone no more, and which was standard. And she never, I sent her a message, and it wasn't very nice, and she sent me even one that was much worse back. And you know that she never called me. So the next morning, I get a call from my daughter, Allie. She says, I'm getting on a plane. I'll be there as soon as I can, Dad. I go, what are you talking about? She says, Taylor's in the ICU at Lee Summit, St. Luke's. I go, what? What are you talking about? She said, Dad, I'm getting on a plane right now. I'll be there as soon as I can. So I fell on the floor. The only thing I knew to do was struggle to call Kelly. And she came to drive because I couldn't drive. So she came and she got me and took me there. All I remember was trying to run She said when I got in that room, I fell flat out in a fetal position weeping, and I don't know how long I was there. I don't know because I don't remember. I finally got to where I could, comb his hair, kiss him, and hold him because he was warm. And I said, I'll not be here if you turn that off. Don't try to turn that off with me in here. I mean, I'm not going to see him grow cold. I'm not going to see him stop breathing. That's not happening. And so when I thought about Jesus on the cross, he said, why have you forsaken me? It's like, well, maybe his father couldn't watch him die like that because I couldn't watch my son I couldn't do it. And I wasn't about to. I can acknowledge it, but I can't accept it. So this is the key to healing, I think. It's helped me tremendously. So I wanted to help others because I'm not alone. People in this room have lost. I have patients that have buried 2 of their kids. There's always somebody's got it worse. What are the positives of suffering? Understanding the cross, loving stronger, loving harder, the humble yet shrewd, vanity and ego, beaten out of you. So you understand the crucifixion better and what was given for you. Why would God allow this to happen? For understanding. Well, we can't get over these things. We can only just get through that. You're not alone. And I didn't want to do it just one-on-one with the patients anymore. I wanted a group, and I wanted to grow. I wanted to, because I think it needs to be heard. But we'll see. So you got to try real hard to remember the good. I just went into absolute seclusion afterwards for a while to take all his pictures down. I couldn't see it. I couldn't. But now I've got it back, and now I've gotten rid of the things that that I couldn't wear, and I put all of his stuff next to mine in the hope chest and gave the girls all there. So when they come in, it should be easy for them. I got his boxing robe next to mine. His medals next to mine. I know I'll see my son again. And I'll see my wife again, and that eases the sting of death. That eases it. I can still feel him inside me. Just like I can feel his mother. Just down deep behind my heart somewhere. It's where the anxiety comes from too. It's like it just starts, you feel it and it just starts coming over you and it paralyzes you. But on September the 3rd, because on Father's Day I was useless, I couldn't come out of the house. I stayed in for almost a week. The 4th of July wasn't too much better because last 4th of July we were on a blanket together on the hill watching the fireworks, and he was telling me how great it was. So his birthday, September the 3rd, and I have made an appointment to go to KC Floats where you're in that tank. I went into it once. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm back in my mother's womb. So I'm going back, and then at noon at that day, I see a man that my papa was half Cherokee, so I see a man that we work on, Indian type meditations and things, and that really helps me because I resonate with that. So this is what to leave you with. Faith is daring the soul to go beyond what the eyes can see. 1. 2. Life takes us to unexpected places, and only love can bring us home. 3. Be brave. There's no medals for cowardice. Be fearless, be bold, and be strong for others. Be a mighty warrior.